Tell me a little bit about structuring the work as a suite, these interconnected pieces, what you were going for as opposed to a collection of separate compositions.
Ultimately, my goal was to tell a cohesive story or to have a cohesive presentation with the music. And I suppose what I mean is simply taking the listener on an emotional journey. And for me, my reference point was some of the great film composers.
Mm.
I mean, this is maybe a very surface level one, but John Williams is one of the great compositional masters, I believe, of the last, I don't know, over 50 years, simply because all of the work he has done in music is so very iconic. When he writes a melody to a film or story, you're able to identify that not only the part of the story, but the character, the emotional beat. It can bring you to tears just having that music in the background. So I wanted to translate that sort of idea to the realm of improvised music, to jazz, because so often I feel, whether it be my own work or the work of other people, that there's so much passion and so much integrity and so much technical mastery. But at the end of the day, it becomes basically a lineup of interesting songs. It's not really saying much, or if it is, it's little vignettes. Not necessarily one song is connected to the other in a overarching theme. So I wanted to achieve that by creating that suite, having something that in musical terms takes on the hero's journey. You have a point of departure, you have an arc, you have the calling to action, you have confronting the shadow, and then coming out victorious at the end.
Do you have, if it's fair to ask, do you have a Williams score that you return to or that you particularly like?
It's really hard to say. I guess, one of the things that made me fall in love with his film scoring in particular was simply the stories that they were tied to. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of iconic stories. I mean, you talk about Indiana Jones, classic adventure, Star Wars, the space opera, Harry Potter, mystical adventure. I mean, all of these also kind of, in some way, shape, or form, follow that hero's journey narrative. E.T. in particular has some really beautiful stuff. I mean, it's not even just background like a lot of film scoring tends to be. It's clear, concise, that you can identify, that you can easily remember.
That's right.
I guess a little known fact, he was also a jazz musician early on in his career, which I guess makes sense. I mean, you have to have some masterful skills in improvisation and, harmonic and melodic sensibilities. But anyway, I guess maybe a thing that hasn't been touched on so much in the music is that more grandiose storytelling scope. It's more about vignettes or more about showing how masterful and beautiful your musicianship is.